Good evening, everybody. I can't believe that we are back again for the next AGM. It feels to me as if we were only here last week or something. But there we go, AGM 2019. And I would like to immediately start with research that we funded totally. We awarded a research grant for over £71,000, and this is important because this year was the second year of flat cash, and we managed to keep up the number of funding that we reserved for research. Unfortunately, we are looking at yet another year of flat cash at best, and we are going to have to make do with quite a bit less money to be able for grants. We gave large fieldwork grants, 5K research grants, and 2K research or study grants, covering all 7 strategic research initiatives. But I would like to mention one in particular, and that is the Konya Research, Konya Regional Archaeological Survey Project, and in combination with the Turkmen Karahöyük Intensive Survey Project, I think that they made one of the most important discoveries that were made in Turkey überhaupt this summer, because they found a new Luwian inscription from the great king Hartapu in the region where they are working, and this is from the Iron Age, which is quite a significant find, something that doesn't happen not every year, but not every 10 years, or even probably more. So this is a space to watch, I think. So you see that they found it in an irrigation ditch, but actually the inscription itself, I hope that you can see it till the back, is rather well preserved. We are very proud, and I'm speaking here in the name of the Institute, that we also have new privately funded research grants, and more specifically research scholarships for postgraduates. So not just postdoc, but also people that have not yet finished their PhD. That is something that we cannot grant with British Academy funding. So we were able to raise the funds. First of all, David French family granted £20,000 for research scholarship, and several of the members donated more, so we have close to £25,000. We intend to give 2 of these scholarships each year, and they are around £1,000 apiece. Secondly, the British Community Council of Istanbul granted a similar scholarship, but they called theirs the Doughty Wiley Scholarship. Again, 2 scholarships a year for up to £1,000. We had quite a few applications for this first round, and all 4 of them passed through the Institute, and I think they all had really fulfilled what the scholarships were granted for. Postdoctoral research fellows, I just reused the photographs from last year, and our cat Sparrow is still ruling the Institute, so that has not changed either. Unfortunately, here again, due to the fact that we are dealing once again with a flat cash, we will only be able to appoint 1 fellow in the spring this year. Outreach and publications, our editor, Gina Coulthard, once again managed to get everything out on time. Anatolian Studies 2019, Anatolian Studies 2020 is as good as ready to go to press as well, and Heritage Turkey 2019 is being printed as we speak. An important element here as well is that the academic editor for the Anatolian Studies periodical has changed. I would like to thank, in the name of the BIAA, Professor Roger Matthews, and his role is taken over by Dr. Nesh McSweeney from this year onwards, from Anatolian Studies 2020 onwards. BIAA outreach and publications, as well as events, and I only draw your attention to all the workshops that we did in Ankara on digital humanities, from enemies to allies, a workshop on water management, which involved all the British International Research Institutes, and then last but not least, a workshop on physical anthropology in Anatolia. I think that the width of the topics of these workshops alone indicates the kind of width of topics that we cover currently. The Institute was also chosen as, Institute's research was also chosen as one of 15 research projects to be showcased at the British Academy Summer Showcase, which was themed a free festival of ideas for curious minds. And we presented what is the relationship between archaeology and the public, which was actually based on the British Academy funded project Living Amid the Ruins, but we also showcased the other heritage management projects that we are doing. So the BIAA Heritage Management Project, as well as safeguarding archaeological assets of Turkey. In this way, we were able to reach over 1,900 people in 2 days and 1 evening. The first evening was a VIP evening. Then the second day was a day where quite a few school children passed by, over 200. And then the third day was a Saturday, was the day for the wider public. And as you can see here, the virtual reality was, of course, the highlight. So we had the impression that people really enjoyed what we were presenting. You might have thought, wow, she's going really fast this year, but that is because I think this year it is time to put a few people in the spotlight. First of all, the BIAA Assistance Directors. We had to say goodbye to Dr. Leonidas Karakatsanis, who has been the Assistant Director for 4 years. But before that, he was one of the BIAA postdoctoral fellows, and he was also a fellow linked to one of the research projects of the BIAA. And you are lucky enough to be able to listen to him tonight. His successor is Dr. Daniel Joseph MacArthur Seal. Daniel, again, is not a stranger to the BIAA. He, too, was a postdoctoral fellow and was afterwards linked to the research project From Enemies to Allies. After that, he was an assistant professor at the Hong Kong Baptist University for 2 years, and now he's back with us as assistant director. He is a cultural and social historian, and he's focusing on the late Ottoman and the early Republican period. The assistant directors are not the only new faces, and here should actually have been a photograph of Laura Patterson. You have seen her. She was going to get up now, but of course she disappeared. So she's our new BIAA London manager, and I really hope that this time, third time, good time, and that Laura will stay with us for a while. So she started the 1st of October, and I think that we can all say that she really hit the ground running. Laura is not the only new appointment. We also have a BIAA social media consultant, Charlotte Jordan, who is standing up in the back of the room. And we just had a development committee meeting, and the numbers of people that are following the BIAA on Twitter and other social media has gone up incredibly thanks to her. So thank you very much. Awards, indeed. Quite a few members of the BIAA were awarded birthday honors. Professor Ian Hodder, long-term director of the excavations at Çatalhöyük, was awarded Companion of the Order of St. Michael and St. George for services to archaeology and for the UK-Turkey relations. Dr. Bethany Hughes, the BIAA patron, was awarded an OBE by Princess Anne. And then a totally other award, or near award, was granted by achieved John McManus. I gave him a little red halloo there. Because he is one of 2 runners-up for the very prestigious British Kuwait Friendship Society Book Prize, with his book Welcome to Hell on Turkish football. And the prize itself was actually won by Şevket Pamuk. Many of you will know that the Institute, one of the main elements that we are focusing on, is setting up the BIAA as a digital repository. And the manager is Nurdan Atalan Çayırızmez. And she had help till very recently from Sergio Russo, who is also in the audience. And I think that it's worth to focus on what they have been doing, because I think what they have achieved in a year is incredible. You will know that the Institute has been investing in digitization of its collections for quite a while. Now, since over 15 years, almost 15 years, quite a few different people have worked with us on short-term contracts for the digitization. Unfortunately, it now turns out that not everybody worked in the same way, so they are cleaning all the data up and standardizing the metadata that we hold. Externally, it has also become obvious that there are actually no standards for digital cultural heritage and cultural memory in Turkey, so there is no vocabulary, so there is no unified vocabulary for all of this. That's another element that we are working on. In order to make sure that the BIAA repository will be compliable with international standards, Nurdan also went on training at ADS, so the Archaeological Data Service at York University. And equally important, I think, is that she is also one of the co-chairs in a large EU cost action project, SEADA, and that stands for Saving European Archaeology from the Digital Dark Age, where they are working on how to prevent that digital data become obsolete and because of lack of standards in the world of digitization. Closer to home, as you can see here at the bottom, the BIAA is owner, as many of you know, to a very large and important herbarium. Nurdan has spent quite a bit of time to make contact with other herbaria in Turkey, and we are now putting a project together in which hopefully collaboration will be possible with all these herbaria, but also with Kew Gardens and UCL. Since Nurdan is working on digitization and digital recording, we have had visits of several digitization and information and data record departments, Hacettepe University, University of Ankara, but also the students from UCL Qatar. She has also presented the collections of the BIAA and its digitized collections at different workshops and congresses. In short, the awareness and knowledge about the British Institute's digital and physical collections is clearly spreading. Another team that I think deserves to be known is the Seurat Team, so the Safeguarding Archaeological Assets of Turkey team, because they have been working really non-stop. This year is the third year of the grant, and they have been delivering workshops all over the country. First of all, there is, as you all know, the online certificate course, so the online course on emergencies regarding to archaeological assets. The course has been offered for 4 times this year, and the first one was in May, and 8,357 people applied to take the course, which is, I mean, we had not expected this because, and more than, I mean, there was quite a selection made, but over 5,000 people have either graduated or are close to graduation. Not only that, so in parallel, the team toured the country, let's put it in that way, to hold workshops. Below you can see a billboard announcing one of the workshops in Kocaeli, namely the archaeology in local context. And this workshop is based on the result of the nationwide survey that we did, public poll, asking for how important archaeological heritage and assets are for people. So based on the results of that, we went to 5 different cities to and work with local NGOs, the Cultural Council, museums, universities, so that we could, first of all, bring the results, but secondly, also show them examples of how local heritage can actually be very important for local communities. So that not only to build a stronger tie with the heritage, but also to ensure economical and social advantages for the local communities. This has been very successful. And there should actually be another picture in the top, because we have also done 6 workshops with journalists in Turkey, in different areas of Turkey, because the reporting on archaeology and archaeological assets is not always as one would wish. Sometimes they are almost encouragements to go and do some looting. So, we worked with quite a few of the journalists who are responsible for this reporting in order to move towards ethical reporting on archaeological assets. So all of that is running parallel. This is all people from the Institute, but I would like to also thank the BIAA officers, because as many of you probably know, whereas in earlier years, being an officer of the BIAA was possibly a couple of hours a month, now it's almost a half-time job. So I would really, really like to thank the BIAA officers, as well as the BIAA council members, and the BIAA council members that are also members of the committee. So you said they are not dormant, or what did you say? Active members of the committee. So I think that the BIAA owes a lot to all these people that are spending their time voluntary. And without all these committee members, officers, council members, it would be over with the BIAA. So I think it deserves a big thank you. And that is all from me. Thank you very much.